Yo, what is good, everybody? Salute here, and let's jump right into it. All right, so most realtors are losing thousands in commissions because they can't follow up with leads fast enough. So today, I'm basically going to show you exactly how to build an AI system that basically qualifies leads instantly and sends their info directly into your CRM. So let me show you this live demo to kind of just get things started. All right, so as you can see, right now I'm basically in this fake, real estate website I got pulled up here, and basically watch, how I kind of go about interacting with the AI agent that's simply embedded in place. And let's just kind of just see how this goes. So in this instance, I'm basically gonna act as a potential lead, whether I'm looking to either buy or sell. For this example, we'll be using a potential lead that's, let's say, looking to buy one of these properties or listings that they see on this realtor's website in their local city, or anything in that nature in this case. So as you can see, we have the AI agent right here. All right, and let's get started with conversation. So it says, how can I help you? Hi. Oh, I just said I can buy a new home sometime soon, thinking of upsizing. So response back says, hi, that's exciting. Upsizing is a great step to help you get started. What type of property are you looking for? And do you have any ideal location or must have features in mind? So you can just say, all right, so I just said I'm looking for a single home, 4 bedroom, 3 bathroom with a nice pool in a good area with a nice park and school. Just kind of keep things, lighthearted in terms of this conversation. So response back, it says, great choice. A 4 bedroom, 3 bath, single family home with a pool near park and good school sounds ideal for many families. So what's your budget range for this purchase? And have you been pre-approved for a mortgage yet? So in this case, we're gonna say, oh, in this case, I just said budget is around 8 to 900K. And no, I have not been pre-approved for a loan. Response back simply says, thank you for sharing your budget. 800 to 900K is a solid option in many great neighborhoods. What is your ideal timeline for buying and moving? And are you hoping to make a move in the next 3 to 6 months or just exploring right now? All right, I just said right now I'm exploring some options, but looking to move within 6 months because I do have a baby on the way for this demo that we're kind of using in this case. So response back simply says, congratulations on your growing family. Since you're planning to move within 6 months, it's a great time to start exploring options and get familiar with the market. And are you currently renting or doing your own home that you need? Or do you own a home that you need to sell before buying your next place? So as you can see, he's asking really good questions in terms of the prospect that I'm potentially playing as in thinking about upsizing and buying another home. So as you can see, he's asking the right questions in terms of, qualifying the prospect and making sure that, hey, are you pre-approved for, a mortgage? What is your price range? What is the area that you're looking for? What are the must-haves that you need? And as you can see, it's getting a really good foundation and really a good criteria in terms of the clientele and what they're looking for. So in this case, I just said I'm currently renting at the moment. Response back says, thanks for letting me know. Renting gives you some flexibility in your timeline, which is helpful. What's motivating your decision to upsize right now, aside from the new baby? And are there any other reasons you're looking for more space or specific features? So as you can see, like it's also referencing like the fact that me being the fake prospect in this case that I'm potentially I'm having a family, and that I'm thinking that's the catering towards the reason why I'm thinking about upsizing in this case. So as you can see, the agent is pretty good in being able to, piggyback and actually have a really good conversation with the prospect in this case. So let's dive in a little bit deeper and let's keep kind of going and asking questions before I give you the whole sauce into how this all works in the back end. So in this case, I just said mostly being a father and needing a bigger house for, don't mind the background noise. I basically just said mostly being a father and needing a bigger house for the baby on the way. So response back simply says that makes perfect sense. Having more space is important for growing a family. To help narrow down the best options, would you prefer to be in a specific school district or neighborhood, or are you open to recommendations from Ryan Serhan's team? So in this case, I just said I would like recommendations from Ryan Serhan's team. So response back simply says, excellent. Ryan's team can recommend the best neighborhood with top schools, parks, and family friends, amenities that match your preference and budget. Can I have your name, email, phone number so we can connect you with Ryan for personalized recommendations and next steps? So as you can see now, the agent is asking for contact information, and it's going to send not only the conversation that we just had, along with the buying criteria that we're looking for, but also the contact information in terms of the leads, name, email, and phone number in this case, and it's going to send this directly into your CRM. So that way, you know exactly the prospect that literally went into your pipeline and everything that they're looking for in terms of the criteria of either buying or selling a home in this case. Right. So in this case, I just basically gave the information in terms of the contact information. So in this case, me being the potential lead, we're just going with the fake name. So I just said Mark Wilson, email mark50@gmail.com, and number 102-456-9078. Response back, Thanks for Mark. Thank you, Mark. I got your detail and will connect you with Ryan Serhan for personalized recommendation that fits your needs and timeline. Is there anything specific you would like us to prioritize, like numbers of bedrooms, yard, space, or proximity to work? So as you can see, the agent is going to continue to keep going on and on in terms of just getting more details to be able to send this back over to your CRM in this case. But for this, like I said, just to kind of keep things quick and brief for the video, we're going to go ahead and see where this information actually pops up on your CRM. All right, so now you're going to see how I'm basically going to switch over to this make dashboard. And basically, you're going to see how all the lead information in terms of the contact information is basically going to be transferred onto the CRM. This is basically where that middleman action actually happens right here. So for instance, in this case, once the AI agent has basically scraped all the information in terms of the contact info for the lead, in terms of the name, email, and phone number, and the conversation, it is essentially going to send this into the CRM, as you can see, where the CRM has all the parameters that we basically pre-filled for the first name, email, phone number, and conversation, along with the lead status as well too in this case. And for this example, for this video, we're simply just using HubSpot as the CRM, but you can use any CRM. You can connect it to any CRM in this case. But this is just an example that we're kind of using for this instance. So now we're going to switch over and kind of show you what this all looks like on HubSpot and how the contact information that you scrape from the lead, from your AI agent, from your website is now populated onto your CRM with all the criteria, knowledge, and data of the lead that just came onto your website essentially. All right, now as you can see, the contact information of this lead is essentially into the HubSpot CRM. But as you can see, we have the name, the phone number of the email, and the contact information in the CRM. All right, so this basically gives you a good general overview in terms of basically what just happened and how you can use a simple AI automation just like this that can essentially help you scrape more lead data in their information and basically be able to, you know, just have more of your lead sources being a lot more organized and categorized into your CRM. And if you have more automation that you could put in place, this can essentially, be a very powerful tool that you can essentially use to streamline all your process in terms of your leads. So now, enough of that demo explanation. Let me actually go in and show you how this is all created on the back end. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go to a platform called Agentive. So you can literally just search it up. Agentive AI. You can kind of scroll through. You'll find it right over here. You'll simply register and make an account. It's as simple as that. You can log in through Google. Nothing too complex. But this is basically your AI agent platform builder. And there's multiple platforms that essentially are like this that you can essentially build, AI agents. This one is just the easiest, and it's also free to do as well too. So you don't have to worry about paying any sort of monthly fee or anything like that. It's basically worked on a token based usage. So it's very simple in terms of that aspect. So UI is very simple. It's not complicated. After you make an account, you'll simply go in, you just have the home agent, global analytics of all the basically agents that you have made, settings, and then pricing. Like I said, pricing is based on tokage based usage in this case. So what you're simply going to do is you're going to go to agents. Don't mind all the red ones. These are just all past projects and stuff like that. What you do is you go to create agent. We're going to name this Ryan's assistant agent. You don't even have to even write a description. And right here, when it says select OpenAI API key, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go onto the OpenAI website, which, like I said, I'll leave all of the links in the description in terms of being able to get access to all this. But what you're going to do is you're essentially just going to go to OpenAI and you're going to go to API keys. You can simply just search that up online. Now, once you go to API keys, you're simply just going to create a secret key, and you can just name it whatever you want to name it. So in this case, you can just name it, we will just name it test in this case. You'll simply create it, and that's simply your API key that you're going to copy. And you're essentially going to copy and plug in that API key onto a Agentive platform for your AI agent to be able to use. This is essentially how your AI agent is going to be able to function as an agent. It's going to pull the information and the data from ChatGPT, which is OpenAI, and it's going to use that AI essentially in terms of being able to help you basically answer the response that we were basically asking when the lead was asking all the questions earlier when I showed you that demo. So like I said, you simply go to add new key. It's going to take you to the settings. What you're simply going to do is simply just going to allow you to enter. You can name it as well too. And then you can simply just delete this, and then you'll simply copy and paste your new API key. You'll save it, and you'll simply have your API key. Simple as that. To also reference and let you know as well too, in order to have access to API keys for OpenAI, you do need to essentially add a little bit of credit onto OpenAI to be able to utilize this. So the first thing you're actually going to do is so like I said, once you're on the OpenAI platform, you're essentially just going to go and scroll over to billing. API keys is right here. So when you scroll down a bit further, you're going to go to billing, and then you're essentially just going to add a little bit of some credit to be able to utilize and actually create an API key to be able to use it for your AI agent. So it's super simple. You just add a payment method. As you can see, I have mine's right here. It's super simple. You'll add it, and then you can add, I think the minimum is like $5. So you can just add it like $5 onto the account, and then you'll be able to go in on the API keys and essentially create your API key and then utilize it on the Agentive platform right here. So essentially, once you have your API key, like I said, you're going to go in and you're going to create your agent, and then you'll be able to pick your API key right here. And you can also pick the version of ChatGPT that you want to use. In today's demo version or tutorial, we're essentially going to be using V4 Mini since it's the newest one and it's as of now. So once this is basically your agent created platform, now it's super simple in terms of the UI and the way that it's created. All you're going to simply do is have a prompt, a knowledge base, and then you can add additional tools or additional features onto this AI agent. For today's demo, we're simply not going to be doing that, just to keep it very simple and not too complex, so anyone can essentially do it. And I've also have created the knowledge base that we're going to use for today's video that is going to be linked in the description below in terms of all the instructions and essentially everything you need to do to create this agent for yourself and be able to implement it onto your website. Just making sure the lighting is good. All right, so what you're gonna do is just simply you can copy and paste this knowledge base that I have right here. Simple as that. And then it's automatically going to save, so you can switch over to knowledge base. Enable, you can select knowledge base. I already have a knowledge base here, but I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to import one. So we can use go to create new. We're gonna name this just test, just cause. And essentially here you'll be able to basically upload any PDF documents, anything that you want to add in terms of the knowledge base that you want the AI agent to essentially have in this case. So being able to, answer good qualifying questions, being able to know any question that any potential lead could ask that you know yourself as a realtor. So in this case, I also have the knowledge base as well too. And this is just a general knowledge base, but I'm also going to leave a link in the description below too, so anyone can be able to utilize it. So you simply just drop this below and you'll simply upload it. And right then and there, you have your knowledge base, simple as that. And you can simply always add more knowledge base to it. So you don't have to just add one document. And like I said, last part is the tools section. So you can add additional tools. And what tools are essentially are that you can add to your agent. An example of this could be like, say that you want to add a home buyer evaluation tool onto your AI agent. And what this tool would essentially do is if the lead comes onto your website and is talking to the AI agent, it's qualifying them, it's asking them questions. Say that on the AI agent essentially asks, or let's say that the potential lead asks how much is their home currently right now in today's market conditions. You can add an additional tool such as a home evaluation tool that you can create, add onto the AI agent that you can essentially be able to ask the lead to basically enter their home address, and then with using the tool, the home buyer evaluation tool would be able to basically get a good price range on what the lead's price of their home is essentially. Sorry, I don't know why that was hard to say, but basically, yeah, if you can bear with me. So as soon as all this is done, you're gonna click publish, click yes, I am sure. And simple as that, your AI agent is simply created. Simple as that. Completely for free and no additional switches or any tags that you need to add to it. Simple as that. Now what you're gonna do is you probably would want to test your agent to make sure that everything is good. So what you can do is you can go to share, click make public, you can copy this link or generate shareable link. Either way, they're both the same. You can copy this and paste it here, and then you can literally just test out your agent just to make sure that it fits all the criteria and that it's exactly the way that you want it to sound. So as you can see, that was that. And yeah, so essentially we're going to go ahead and just simply just deploy it. Now there's a few options when it comes to deploying it. So the great part about using this platform, Agentive, is that you can essentially deploy it on multiple platforms. So WhatsApp is one of them. They give you a great video demonstrating exactly how to do it step by step. There's Instagram using MiniChat, Messenger, Voice Flow, which is a little bit more technical, but you can still do that as well too. Telegram and Discord as well too. Now for this case, for this demo, we are going to be implementing it onto a website, like I said. So you can simply just customize it real quick in terms of what you want the name of the agent to be. Description, you could change the color of it, whether it's red, whatever you want it to be. And you can even add your own logo. You could even write what's the first thing that you want the agent to say, anything as that nature. So once you create widget, it is essentially going to give you a coded schema in this case, and this is in which we call it. And what this is essentially on any website, whether you use Squarespace or honestly any platform. Basically, you're able to plug in an AI agent using this schema in this case. So you simply just copy it, and then on your website, if you either have an IT person on your team, or it doesn't really take too much web development skill. Honestly, it's super easy. You just copy and paste the code segment onto a certain part of your website, and the AI agent will simply pop up and be embedded within your site. It's super simple. It's not complex. It just depends on the different platforms and the site that you're using, but it's not complicated to have something like this. And there's also a tutorial as well to watch too, which dives in a little bit more in terms of all these resources and integrations that you could add onto your website. So exactly, step-by-step tutorial of how to do this. So if you need additional support or help, you can always utilize these resources to be able to add that. Now, going back to the agent that we just created, like I said, deploy. Say you'll just copy and paste the widget there, and it will be as simple as that. And your agent has been created and embedded onto your website. Now, essentially, in order for the second part, which will be the make integration, what you'll simply do is, let me actually go with this step by step. So that was the first part of simply creating the AI agent and embedding it onto your website. Now, the second part is going to be creating the make automation, essentially, where once the AI agent has scraped the contact information of the lead, it is going to initialize a trigger, which is going to send the contact lead information into the CRM of your chosen form. In this case, we're using HubSpot. So all you have to do is go to make.com. And like I said, you don't have to pay for this in order to be able to make this automation itself. Credits and usage are super low, so you're not going to pay a thing for doing something as simple as this. You're going to make an account. It's super simple. You can log in with Google, nothing too complex, and UI is super easy to use as well too. And you're simply going to go to create scenario. You're going to click on webhook. You're going to click on custom webhook, and then from there you're simply just going to name, or you're going to click add. You can name this whatever you want to name it, or you can name it essentially what the webhook is going to do. So in this case, you can just say scrape data. You're going to save that, and then while you let the webhook basically do its thing, you're going to copy this address, and then you're going to paste this address onto your website, where, well, basically you're going to attach this onto the chat, onto the AI agent essentially, so that way the AI agent would essentially know how to send the data in terms of the lead and the contact information. So you simply just copy this, and you simply just copy this and then just paste the webhook essentially in this case. And it's as simple as that in terms of that whole make automation and actually having the webhook triggered. So you just save it. Next up, you are going to add your choice of CRM. In this case, like I said, we are using HubSpot, and you can easily just search it up. In this case, you're going to choose create or update contact. And then what you're going to do is you're going to actually add all the properties on here. So first property is going to be first name, and then you're going to add the value. If you don't know, if you can't find the values within these parameters that you're essentially going to add it. And what this means is that, so when we're naming these properties, essentially the key is just essentially labeling what you want the property to be, but the actual value is going to be what the data that you're going to be storing the property in. So you need to find the value parameter to be able to add this onto it. So you could even use this section. I prefer to use this section. It's called Field by AI. And you can just search your first name, and then let me see. It's going to search it, and then it's essentially going to find the right parameter to apply it. And it's as simple as that. Usually these parameters you could find because they're so obvious to see, but that's just to give you a scenario in terms of how this whole process works. Next one is going to be email. So you can actually scroll down here and you could find the parameter right here. Same thing, you can search up email. It's going to search it. It's going to find the right parameter. You're going to apply it. Last one is phone number, which I think I could find right here. Yep, right there. Do the same thing on here. Simple, just add that parameter and that's it. You can also add, I believe it's message, and then you can simply, I think really you can type in the same thing and it should be able to find something similar to that. Yeah, you can add a message on there, or you can add a conversation. And the best part, and the thing I highly recommend too, is that, hold on, let's add one more parameter. We can add buying role. Yeah, buying role or conversations to work. And what you're going to do is, once you're done, you're simply going to map all these integrations out. So then that way, basically make, or the automation trigger just knows that, like, hey, these parameters or this information has to be mapped out exactly to it. Just because when it's not mapped out, then you're simply leaving it up to make to kind of make the decision for itself of where to map out everything when it goes into your CRM. So you just mapped everything out to make sure that everything's concise. You'll simply save it, and there you go. You simply immediately run it. Scenario is not saved. Just save it real quick, immediately run it, and then you'll be able to essentially run the trigger. And then that's what triggers the automation, as you can see in this case. When everything all works out, you see the information being pulled from the webhook. Webhook is then transferred, data is stored here, and this is how it's then plugged in to the CRM, as you can see in this case. So very simple, not too complex, and that's how the automation is essentially made for this trigger. Now, there you have it. That's essentially being able to first make an AI agent and embed it onto your website. The second part, then being able to actually create the automation that's going to create the trigger that's going to send the contact lead information into your CRM in this case. So super simple, not too complex, but this is showing you the power of AI and automations and how you can simply save a lot of time and be able to be more effective with everything that you do in this case. So this is just a little bit of a mini diagram kind of displaying and showcasing everything that's basically has been put into place. Website AI agents, which we use for Agentive, CRM integration, which we use for Make. And then now the third and the last part, just a little bit of a gem that I want to kind of give you guys to be able to utilize and use. But I wanted to show you how you can also deploy the AI agents onto Instagram as well. So this has a video as well that you can implement. Highly recommend you watch the video, as it will give you step-by-step instructions. But let me show you how you can essentially be able to create kind of another automation but on a powerful platform called ManyChat. So you'll go here, you click ManyChat template, and what you're essentially going to do is you're going to make a ManyChat account. So when you click to save to ManyChat, it's going to probably automatically prompt you to create an account. I already have one on here. It's super easy to create. You just make an account and then you connect one of your social media platforms onto this ManyChat platform, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You'll simply just add one of your accounts and then you'll automatically connect it. Now, as soon as you do that, the automation that's created here is automatically going to be applied onto your account, which is the best part. As you can see, imported from Agentive. And just to give you a little bit of a rundown of the platform overall, ManyChat is a very great platform for being able to just honestly supercharge. So if you have any leads coming from your personal Instagram page, or if you have any leads contacting you via DM, then you can be able to create automations and be able to create free value utilizing a platform like ManyChat as well too. And like I said before, this automation is basically already pre-made and curated. But what's essentially going to do is that anyone that simply types in whether it's in this case, anyone that simply either types in the CTA trigger, or on one of your videos you say comment down below a certain word, it's going to automatically trigger the automation, and that's essentially what this trigger does. And you don't really have to do everything. Everything is pretty much already set up in terms of this aspect. Like I said, I highly recommend you watch the video. That will basically help you set up this automation if you want to implement this onto your Instagram page. But other than that, that's honestly pretty much it in terms of being able to create this AI agent. Super simple, super streamlined, nothing too complex or complicated. Like I said, I'm gonna leave all the resources down below in terms of being able to implement this step by step, and how you can be able to basically streamline your process and automations, and how you can save so much time and be able to utilize this. Like I said, system results are honestly efficient. So 28 hours, can be saved monthly with this. 100% lead capture rates, 0 missed leads, 3x qualified appointments, instant lead qualification, like I said, and basically unfilled lead management as well too in this case. So, all right. So like I said, there you have it, a complete AI lead management system using Agentive, Make.com, and ManyChat that you want to implement. These systems can work for you 24/7 to never miss a lead. And just to kind of recap, what the system gives you is 100% lead capture rates, no more missed opportunities, instant qualification, and CRM entry, 20 plus hours saved per month on manual follow-up, 3x more qualified appointments booked automatically. And simply the best part is that once you set this up, it's going to run smoothly on autopilot. So while other agents are manually, chasing leads, you're essentially just closing deals in this case. So if you want, me to help you kind of build this system out for you, that's a little bit more complex, that is combining multiple AI operating systems, please book your free strategy call down below. The link is in the description for all the resources and how to actually build this. Like I said, we're actually going to go in and customize this exact system for your market and get you ready, within 2 to 3 weeks in the time span. So drop a comment, if you think this video was helpful. For more automation tutorials like this, also make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I'll just essentially be dropping more AI content, especially within the real estate space. So I appreciate you for watching, and see you on the next one. Peace.